All right, our 3-minute video on absolute value. This is something I think that confuses people because of the way that they learned it. Um, so let's talk about this quickly. I ask you, as usual, to give me my 30 seconds before you stop listening to figure out if this video is for you or not. So let's just start with a definition and go from there. The absolute value of any number is its distance from zero, and it's a kind of a weird thing, isn't it? So what that kind of says is this. So we have this number line, if you don't mind, and somewhere on our number line, it doesn't have to be in the middle, you guys, okay? And somewhere on the number line, we have a 0. So let's say that on this line segment that we have here, that here's 0 here. And let's say that we have -3 here, and the same distance is this distance on this side. We have 3. So my question to you is, which number is farther from 0? Is -3 farther from 0 or +3? And if you look at the absolute value that way, it's a lot easier to understand, because how far is -3 from 0? Well, it's 3 units, isn't it? And 3 is also 3 units from 0. So there's absolute value, isn't it? So how about this? How about this? So my argument to you now is that what's the absolute value of 3? So this is the absolute value signs here. So this is read the absolute value of 3. The absolute value of 3 is 3, isn't it? And the absolute value of -3 is also 3, isn't it? Because remembering that all this question is right here is, the absolute value question is, how this question right here is asking us, how far is 3 from 0? Well, 3 is 3 units from 0. This question that's being asked here is, how far is -3 from 0? And it's also 3 units. The next thing that's really, really important, we're going to sum this up in just a second. The next thing that's really important is to remember that distance is positive. Distance is always positive. Distance can't be a negative number. So people say, well, what if you drive backwards? Well, something's wrong with you. You're driving backwards, but you're still going positive distance, right? What if I'm going to my friend's house and I'm leaving? So I'm leaving here, I'm going to my friend's house, and I accidentally pass my friend's house, and then I come back. Isn't this negative distance? When I went past his house, isn't that negative distance? No, you're a goof. I mean, you made a mistake, but it's not negative distance. It's distance in the wrong direction. But nonetheless, it's distance, and distance is positive. That's really all I really, really want to say about that, is that two things, that absolute value just means distance from 0, and that except for 0, how about we take this question here? What if I said to you, the absolute value of the number I'm interested in is 3? Well, what is the answer, or what are the answers? Well, certainly the absolute value of 3 is equal to 3, isn't it? And the absolute value of -3 is also equal to 3, isn't it? So the answer is x is equal to plus or minus 3. That is to say, either x is equal to +3 or x is equal to -3. So there are two answers. And that would be true for anything other than 0, because the absolute value of 0, if the absolute value of x is 0, well, the only number that fits that would be 0, wouldn't it? Let's try this one, will you? What if I said this? The absolute value of my number x is equal to 12. Well, what are the two solutions? What two numbers are 12 units from 0? And of course, the answer is x is equal to 12 or x is equal to -12. Right? So x is equal to +12 or x is equal to -12. And another way you could have written that is x is equal to plus or minus 12. All right? So I didn't want to go into a lot of detail about that. But what about this? Here's something for you to think about. The absolute value of my number x is equal to -12. Something to think about, isn't it? Something to think about. So is this possible? Is it possible that a number is -12 from 0? Not possible, right? Not possible, because distance is always positive, okay? Ask you again to take good notes and to subscribe to my channel. Vaya con Dios.